Hello and welcome to World in 5. President Mnangagwa has said the country's culture is dynamic, evolving and deeply interwoven with its people's national identity, highlighting the importance for all citizens to champion and promote national heritage. Speaking before today's cabinet meeting in Harare, which saw him, his deputies and all ministers wear the national dress as part of observing National Culture Month, the president said recognizing the national dress was important as it ensured that future generations would inherit a legacy of pride and cultural consciousness.
Cabinet at its 11th meeting held last week agreed that all cabinet ministers should don the national dress for today's meeting as part of promoting our culture month, which I will soon launch nationally under the theme Celebrating Indigenous Voices.
The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, declared May 21 as the World Day of Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. In that spirit, Zimbabwe extends the celebrations across the entire month to promote both indigenous and contemporary cultural expressions. National Culture Month, which is running until May 31, is under the theme Celebrating Indigenous Voices, is set to be officially launched by President Mnangagwa and seeks to celebrate the rich cultural heritage of Zimbabwe, promote cultural diversity and foster national unity. President Mnangagwa said a cabinet decision to wear the national dress had been agreed upon during the 11th cabinet meeting last week as a way to lead by example in honoring Zimbabwean identity and cultural heritage.
Our culture is not static. It is dynamic, evolving, and deeply interwoven with our national identity as a people. As leaders, we have a responsibility to champion and promote our heritage as a people.
Government gave an update on efforts underway to restore power supply following a fire incident at the Highfield substation on Sunday. Acting Minister of Energy and Power Development Jenfan Muswere said some of the affected areas are still experiencing the blackout while power has been restored in other parts.
In response to the incident, load reconfiguration has been implemented to restore services, with Workington backfed from Kambuzuma and Willowville backfed from Park Ridge via Glenview. The plan includes replacing damaged control cables to restore the 132-33 kV transformers and circuit breakers into service. Additionally, a transformer will be removed from headgates and installed at Highfield. Beatrice substation has been successfully restored, bringing back power to Old Adbeni, Waterfalls, Mbare and parts of Southerton. However, areas still without power include Varun Beverages, New Adbeni, parts of Willowville Industrial, Highfield Residential and Glenora.
President Mnangagwa today received a courtesy call from United Nations Women Executive Board at State House. The delegation gave the president an update of the mission that they are set to carry out in the country, which includes assessing the work of the United Nations Women in Zimbabwe. Head of a delegation Nicola Klaas says they had fruitful engagements in their first meeting with the parliamentarians. She further commended the country's efforts to promote gender equality.
Before this meeting, we just came from a meeting with the parliamentarians. So I think what we are here to look at is, of course, the work of UN Women and how UN Women works in the UN system, and also can work in supporting Zimbabwe. So that is the mission that we're on. I think we've been really fascinated by the warmth and the hospitality that we've been receiving throughout actually the 2 days we've been here. We're also going on a field trip to Bulawayo, which we're very much looking forward to. So I think we'll go back to New York with very good impressions. I think as all countries are gender equality is something that all countries are working on, and I think we've been having really good discussions on implementation, as is usually the case in countries.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Monday urged maximum restraint from India and Pakistan as the standoff between the two countries has continued to escalate. Tensions between India and Pakistan are at their highest in years, the UN chief said. Guterres once again strongly condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam on April 22, which reignited hostilities between the two countries, while extending his condolences to the families of the victims. Targeting civilians is unacceptable, and those responsible must be brought to justice through credible and lawful means.
Their significant contributions to the work of the United Nations, not least UN peacekeeping. And so it pains me to see relations reaching a boiling point. Now is the time for maximum restraint and stepping back from the brink. That has been my message in my ongoing outreach with both countries. Make no mistake, a military solution is no solution. And I offer my good offices to both governments in the service of peace. The United Nations stands ready to support any initiative that promotes de-escalation, diplomacy, and the renewed commitment to peace.
Now that's all we had on A World in 5. A good afternoon.